What going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I'm Swipa Cam. Welcome back to the channel. Boy, oh boy, what a great close to a great game of NBA basketball, y'all. And this was a phenomenal performance from your Denver Nuggets and honestly from your Miami Heat as well. Shout out, great game. Y'all know what time it is. The Denver Nuggets are able to pull out a very close victory versus the Miami Heat. Honestly, in a game that some can say should not have been that close, but the Miami Heat were able to get a lot of things done. They shot the ball really well. The Nuggets had a lot of defensive relapses that kind of pointed back in the first 28, 25 games of the year. And here we are. The Denver Nuggets win 124-119, and this makes yet another game where the Denver Nuggets score over 120 points in the game, and they win. The only game they lost this season that they scored 120 more points is, you guessed it, last game versus the Sacramento Kings, where they lost 126-107. So the Miami Heat came into tonight needing to get a victory. The Miami Heat came in tonight needing to get a victory, and the Denver Nuggets also had the same approach as well. The Nuggets came off of a loss. They had just won 5 straight. They've got a great stretch of games coming up, and they needed to be able to put up a good performance versus a team that had a lot of talent on it. They have been to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 of the last 3 seasons, but they were able to get the job done. They were able to pull out a victory. They were able to put enough plays together. But I think the thing is tonight, it was all over the place. All over the place. And what do I mean by that? The Denver Nuggets had 20 turnovers today. The Denver Nuggets had 20 turnovers. But y'all, they had 18 turnovers by the start of the fourth quarter. They had 18 turnovers by the start of the fourth quarter. The Nuggets just simply could not stop putting the ball in harm's way, whether it was entry passes, whether it was just trying to just run simple actions, whether it was just dribbling too much. They just could not take care of the basketball. Now, a lot of this, though, was because the Miami Heat are great at pressuring the ball. They switch up their defenses. They switch it up to man. They have different variations of zones that they run. Eric Spoelstra is a great NBA coach, especially a great defensive mind. They're a top 10 defense on the season as well. But the real story of the game is the fact that not only were the Nuggets turning the ball over, but their defense was abysmal tonight. They gave up 119 to a bottom 15 offense in the NBA. A bottom 15 offense in the NBA. Now, granted, they scored 124 points versus the top 10 defense, which goes to show you the Nuggets are just built different, man. Like, there are not games where the Nuggets are simply not going to be able to score and not going to be able to get the job done. That's just not the reality. That's not the case at all. They put up 124 points tonight, and they needed every single bit of those points because they weren't giving maximum effort on the other end. And so that was a part of the issues and everything today. Today, the MVP of the NBA, 36 minutes, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists. 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists. He was 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 1 block, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, plus 14. Nikola Jokic, game high, plus 14. His counterpart, who played a really good game tonight, Bam Adebayo, had 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists, and 6 of 14 shooting. But he was 10 of 11. Bam Adebayo, 10 of 11 from the free throw. 10 of 11 from the free throw line. He had 2 blocks, and he had 4 steals, minus 4. So Bam Adebayo played really good defense versus Joker today. I would actually say in the last 2 seasons, 3 if you include this one, this is probably Bam Adebayo's best defensive performance since before the 2020 season. Probably his best defensive performance. He was just putting a lot of pressure on the ball, and Jimmy Butler also did as well. Shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy tonight had 17, 6, and 8 on 5 of 13 shooting. Tyler Hero tonight had 26, 10, and 5 on 9 of 18. 26, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. But all the starters, again, when you're playing versus the Denver Nuggets, the starters for the other team are more than likely going to be a negative. Butler, -1. Hero, -6. Lowry, -6. Bam, -4. And then Highsmith, -2. The Denver Nuggets, Jokic was a +11. Jamal Murray was playing a lot of stints with the bench unit today. He was a -9. We'll get to him in a minute. Aaron Gordon was a net 0. Mid-level game from AG. Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Kenny, Super Kenny, was a +7. And Michael Porter Jr. was a -5. He was a -5, didn't have great shot selection or decision-making, and also did not play good defense tonight. But Jokic had 19, 12, and 12. There were many points in time in the first half where you were wondering when he was going to start getting fully involved in the offense as a scorer. Again, what Miami was doing, they were putting so much ball pressure. Excuse me. My bad, y'all. He was putting so much ball pressure on the ball that they couldn't just make simple entry passes like they normally would be able to. So they were having to move the ball around, and they were having to make sure that they were trying to keep it out of hard way, even though they were turning the ball over. So Jokic was acting as a real distributor. And you could tell at different points and times in the game that the Miami Heat, quite simply, they were just not going to let Denver get off what they needed to get off tonight. And so they were actually making it really difficult relative to Jokic being an overall scorer. So Jokic ended up carving the Miami Heat up, but that's the thing. Like, whenever he plays against the Heat as of late, he might not score a lot of points, but his playmaking is just when the Heat are such a scheme-dependent team. They have really good defenders. But when you're having to play like zone, you're having to play a lot of matchups where they're trying to ISO Jokic or you double Jokic, it just presents a lot of problems. Because in the third quarter, Nikola Jokic actually got one-on-one matchups versus Bam and started going to the rack and started beating him. But then again, at some point in time, he started passing the ball around more. And it was just a really good playmaking and facilitating game for Jokic. The thing was, though, Jokic only had tonight one free throw. Y'all heard me. Jokic, in one of the most physical games of the season, had one free throw. Y'all, I mean, that was probably the thing that I was just bewildered by. Because if you saw Jokic in the paint, I mean, literally, like, Bam was pushing on him. Highsmith was pushing on him. Jimmy, whenever he was trying to come off of a screen, off of an action, they kept running into him. So my whole thing was like, you can at least start calling some of these off-ball fouls that Jokic obviously specializes in. I don't remember. I got to go look it up. I don't know if he's leading the NBA in off-ball fouls again this year, but it was just one of those things where I'm just looking and I'm just like, yo, like, where are the foul calls and stuff coming from? And it just was not happening. And they ended up taking care of business. They did what they were supposed to do, but the game really was just really sloppy. And at different points in time, I was just kind of wondering, like, when exactly are the Denver Nuggets going to decide they want to start, like, locking in a little bit? Because the Miami Heat are too good of a team for you to keep messing around with. And, again, once Jimmy started getting to those floaters, Bam started hitting those little pocket shots, and then there was just a lot of stuff. Tyler started hitting shots. But, again, it was the Nuggets being so, like, sloppy. And they obviously, their first quarter wasn't great as well. Like, the best first quarter team in the NBA, the Nuggets only had 23 points. 23 points. They gave up 19 points. But y'all, listen to this. That means the Denver Nuggets in 3 quarters scored 101 points. The Miami Heat gave up 101 points in 3 quarters, and the Denver Nuggets gave up 100 points in 3 quarters. That's ridiculous. The score was 23-19. The game ended 124-19. No defense was played on either side of the ball tonight at all. Not at all. So shout out to Jokic for a great game. Next person I want to get to is Kenny Pope. Kung Fu Kenny. Kung Fu Kenny. 30 minutes, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Wait for it. 7 of 7 from the field, 4 of 4 from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, plus 7 in a game they won by 5. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was on one tonight, and he was excellent tonight. Kenny has everything you could ask for at that position, at that two-guard position. He is an incredible shooter, great screen navigation. He basically closed the game out by drawing a foul and moving the screen from Bam Adebayo to close out the fourth quarter. He was everywhere. Mid-range shots, three-point shots, contested, transition, didn't matter. Kenny was everywhere, y'all. Kenny was everywhere. Also, shout out Serbia. Shout out to the rest of the people in the chat from across the world. Shout out to everybody else in the United States, man. I appreciate y'all. Glad y'all are here. But yeah, man, I really did think that Kenny was just excellent tonight. He was everywhere. The defense he played was really good. Now, he had a really bad foul versus Tyler Hero where he landed right underneath him, and then Tyler turned his ankle. But yeah, it was just really, 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 really good game from Kenny Pope, man. Again, 100% from the field, 22-2, and based on the score, man, they needed every bit of it. They really did. Aaron Gordon tonight had 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, 4 of 8 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 2 steals. He was even. Not too much to write home about. You know, he did have 3 turnovers, and that's a lot for a player that, again, you don't want to have dribbling the ball all the time. Like, he just kind of played really sloppy. 3 turnovers for him. And then you have Michael Porter Jr. Decent game, 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, 4 of 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 1 steal, -5. Didn't have good defense, especially like late in the stretch against Tyler Hero and them. Just didn't have it today defensively. But again, you know, 10, 6, and 3, not what you want to see, but, you know, you'll take it. Jamal Murray tonight. Jamal Murray, 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists on 9 shots. 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 3 turnovers, and he was a -9. Jamal Murray, before this, had 3 straight games of 25 points, and he was averaging 8 assists a game. Prior to tonight, he was averaging 25, 8 assists, and he was shooting very well from across the board. And then tonight he comes out, has a so-so game for 14, 2, and 6. Some of this was he wasn't shooting the ball a lot. He had just came back, obviously, from, you know, he sat out last game versus Sacramento, you know, just injury management because of the ACL injury last year, all this other stuff. And tonight, he came out really slow and like almost so like where you didn't really notice him. Like it wasn't even like he was taking a lot of shots. But in the fourth quarter, Jamal Murray does what he does. He does what he does. The moment gets the brightest, the moment gets the tightest, and Jamal Murray said, look, bro, I got it. I got it. Don't worry about it. And he did. Jamal Murray was absolutely excellent in that fourth quarter. He really was. And the Denver Nuggets, that's the thing that they miss most is having Jamal Murray with Nikola Jokic. That 2-man game action they run, I don't know how you stop it. I really don't. Because, again, 8th rate defense in the NBA gave up 124 points. But when Jamal is, like, locked in and he's on and he's able to, like, give you consistent play, let me see. Jamal Murray in the fourth quarter, Jamal had, let me see here. He had 8 points, 3 assists, and 1 rebound. And he shot 3 of 3 from the line, 1 of 1 from 3, and 2 of 3 from the field. He had 8 points in the fourth quarter. Aaron Gordon had 4 points in the fourth quarter. Jokic had 17 points in the fourth quarter. But listen to this. This is where the game was won. Aaron Gordon was a plus 13 in the fourth quarter. Nikola Jokic, a plus 13 in the fourth quarter. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a plus 9 in the fourth quarter. Jamal Murray, a plus 3 in the fourth quarter. Bruce Brown, a plus 9 in the fourth quarter. Both Highland was a plus 6, and then Blacko was a plus 1. What does that tell you? Glad you asked. That means, again, everybody locked in the fourth quarter and did what they were supposed to do. That they did what they were supposed to do. They gave up 90 points, I want to say, 90 points in by the third quarter. And then they had an opportunity. They gave up 29 points still. But based on what they had done to Miami Heat the last couple of quarters, that wasn't too crazy. But really, really good late game execution from Jamal. Again, his chemistry with Jokic is just unmatched. And I really don't know how you're going to stop it. Great game from him. Great fourth quarter. Bruce Brown had 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist on 5 of 8 shooting, and 2 of 5 from 3, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He was a +6. Great game from the bench. Bones Highland had 16 points, 1 rebounds, and 4 assists, 5 of 9 from the field, and 5 of 6 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. He was a +9. Vlatko Cancar, 15 points, 3 assists, 5 of 5 from the field, 3 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 steal, +9. So off the bench, Bruce Brown +6, Bones Highland +9, Vlatko +9. DeAndre Jordan had 6 points and 3 rebounds. He was a -9. Christian Brown, 1 rebound, +3. Everybody on the bench but DeAndre Jordan was in the plus. And that, again, a +6, +9, +9. That's how you win a ball game. And that's how much they win the ball games by. So it offset the negative minutes from Jokic tonight. Denver Nuggets shot 59% from the field and 61% from 3. And 77% from the line on 17 of 22. 20 turnovers, 34 assists to 21 assists for the Heat. 36 rebounds tied the Heat, but the Heat had 11 offensive rebounds, including 8 in the first quarter. And the Nuggets only had 5. 4 blocks for the Heat, 1 block for the Nuggets, 13 steals for the Heat, 6 steals for the Nuggets, 19 personal fouls each, and 3 technicals to 1 technical Heat Nuggets. So, Denver Nuggets get a win. What does this mean? This means that the Denver Nuggets are keeping pace at the top of the Western Conference standing, tied for the 1 seed. And they are a game and a half above the Memphis Grizzlies. A game and a half above the Memphis Grizzlies. And they are tied with the New Orleans Pelicans. And guess what? The Denver Nuggets have the tied for the second best record in the NBA, and they are headed to play in Denver the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics are coming to town, and that is going to be an incredible game. And then that's what it is. So the Denver Nuggets were able to close out the new year with a win. I believe this makes them 3-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7-1. 8-2. That makes them 9-2 in their last 11. The Denver Nuggets are 9-2 in their last 11. The Denver Nuggets had 8 players finish in double digits tonight. 8 of them. 8 players for the Denver Nuggets finished in double digits. You had, let's see who it was. Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Pope, Porter, Brown, Highland, and Cancar. All of them had double-digit points today. So really good game, really good performance. Great victory against an Eastern Conference team that you needed to beat because you got an even better matchup coming up versus the Boston Celtics on Sunday, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, y'all. Denver Nuggets, another victory, moving on to 23-12. Let's see if they can again. Y'all know what time it is, y'all. Swipe again. See y'all soon.